So a little about Shiva. He's basically a software engineer. He's working with an American IT company, and he has been into trading from 2015. And of course, we all know him for his famous red charts, right?
Yes. Hey, hi everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining during Sunday afternoon. So actually myself, Sambsiva Nalluri. So I started my trading during 2015 mid. So yeah, as like everyone, like I went to all the phases as a new trader phase, losses, gains, why it is happening to me, why not some other, why it is always hitting my stop. So there are many questions, number of questions. So after that, I found Nimbler sir on Twitter, and then I went to his free blog. It's a very excellent concept. I traded almost most of the concepts defined in the free blog. So once Nimbler sir started his course, I joined and learned candlesticks in a different manner. So from then onwards, like it's flowing with a price. So I'm gratefully thanks to Nimbler sir and also Anurag sir and KK for sharing their inputs always. So, so in this we are going to discuss NimblrTA wave theory. So, like as you know all already, so no overlap, and different kind of waves is like ascending, descending, and there is a rising highs and lows with overlap, and falling lows with highs with overlap. These are the few waves I have gone through. And also when I completed my candlestick course, I never know what is a wave, how it works. Okay. After joining this wonderful forum, Nimbler 15, and good to know, I learned very easily. Within a month, I picked up this wave theory. From then onwards, no looking back. So you can see an example of falling lows and highs with a overlap, and then what is the impulse rise. But similarly, rising highs and lows overlaps. It's a kind of
Shiva, can you hear me?
yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, could you please show in full screen?
Big screen.
Full screen. Actually, it is in presentation mode.
You will see clearly.
Sorry, not able to see clearly. Okay, right now it's
okay. So this is falling lows and rising highs with overlap. So that means most probably after three lows, there is a high chance of rising. So for that, we need to check there is a overlap with the previous low and crossing a previous high. That is the entry point for us to go into a buy trade. Is it clear?
Into the presentation.
Yeah, clear.
Yeah. So the other one similar, right? So whenever there is a rising highs and lows with a overlap, so that means it's a bearish. So previous low whenever breaks, you can enter for a trade, sell trade. Clear, right? I'll go to next one. One of the example where we enter.
Shiva, sorry to disturb you. If you can just hover your mouse down and put it on presentation mode. Just at the bottom, yeah, at the bottom, yeah. Click on that. No, yeah. On the right one. Go right. One more, two more. Shift right. No, yeah. That's it. That icon, correct.
Okay.
Perfect. Sorry.
Yeah. Thanks, Rakesh. So This is the one of the positional trade we have taken. So I have taken. So here, if you look at right on hourly chart, normally I go with the 15 and 60-minute chart. So as sir says, lower time frame into 4 or 6 times. Okay. So I usually go with 15 and 60. So whenever it's very clear, on if you go to on 15 minutes, it's very clear. If you check on 5 minutes, right, you will find some noise. Okay, so that's the reason why I go with the 15 minutes. You are very much comfortable, and you can wait for after breakout. You can wait for a retest and then enter. So that's what I usually take trade. So here, if you look at right on a wave, range hourly chart. So here, previous high not taken out. So like it is 2033.25, and next immediately wave high is 2032. So and also after that it broken the previous low, that is 2006.4. So there I have entered for a short. Able to see? Entered short, and then immediately within 2 days it made low of 1965. Okay, there I exited half of the quantity and remaining trailing to 2040. And then if you see on 21st, it made low of 1851. So if it, I'll share a ton now. How to exit presentation? Any idea?
Yes, you can just press escape button.
Just press escape key. Press the escape key.
Actually, it's on Mac. I'm not able to see. It's showing end
Maybe
show.
just double click. Maybe if that works.
Mac, you can just press use Control tab.
Control tab.
Command tab. Yeah, command tab.
Chart. See, right here I marked. So after break up this line, okay, here around 2000 we entered for a short. So next immediately it made around 1961. So that's where I booked half of the quantity and remaining trailing with this high on a closing basis hourly. So whenever it closes above, we need to exit for a short. So it never closed above and it made a low of 1855. You can check on candlesticks. Okay. Here, if you see right, there is a IC MCBO. So if there is no MC and it closed below means, so there is no strength, it can become a range bound for particular sometime. If there is a strength candle, then it will immediately fall. So that's what I understood over the period of time. So if you look at right on 21st December, it made a low of 1855. On that day, I booked complete gains. Any questions on this Reliance trade?
Seems quite clear.
I have one question. Have you entered on the retest or once the MC are formed? That means once MC has crossed.
Yeah, here I entered. So end of the day. So
Sorry. Actually, I'm not clearly raised my question. Once you entered, once the MC formed, MC has crossed the line, or once the retest has done.
So
in what place you have entered?
After looking this close, right? Previous low it broken and it closed over here. Okay, you able to see my point.
Okay. Yeah.
So there.
Okay.
End of the day around 3:15, I guess. Okay, I entered the short.
Okay. So the question is that whether you entered on trespassing or whether you entered immediately. That's the question, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So on line chart, I checked on after closing here. So around 3:15, I entered over here around 2000 change.
So it becomes trespassing because it trespasses the previous range value
Correct.
of the candle. So if you just move to the candle analysis, it will be clear with that. Line is giving a different view. So these are the areas like 3 candles what you are pointing. So those are giving good entries or re-entries basically.
So that's where I made my entry. So I booked my alpha quantity over here, and again I trial with this particular stop loss on closing basis 2032. So, and you know later what happened it is.
Yeah, perfect. This is very nice. Shiva, we can move on now.
Hi Shiva, just a small
Yes.
question.
Yeah, go
Now,
ahead.
if you look at a wave structure on the line charts, you just go to the line charts.
Sure.
Here, should you not wait for the the previous lower high to be lower low to be taken out?
Yeah,
Around
it's what
1980?
this is what latest low taken out, right? That's where we entered.
Yeah, but there it is
So
coming back to test the previous the support zone. So should you not wait for that support zone to be taken out? That's my question.
So
Exactly
as
where
per
you
this one, yeah, I'll tell you one thing. As per my understanding, recent high and recent low is very important than previous lows. Okay, so whenever it gets broke previous low, that's where my entry point and previous high should be my stop loss on closing basis on a line chart. So I usually take trades based on a positional trades based on 60 minutes. So
Okay.
that's where it's taken out previous low. So I entered it around here 2000, and then you were able to see what happened later.
Okay. No, my question was that would have been a significant low if that high had been taken out. But since the high has not been taken out,
Yeah.
the previous low is actually a significant low, and I mean, I would have waited for that to be taken out to take a short position. I don't know. The experts in the group may comment.
We were saying about this particular.
Exactly. Yeah.
So thing is that right, I always look for recent high and recent low.
Okay.
Okay, so here if you look at right, this high is not taken out and it fallen. So because there is no overlap and fall.
Okay.
Clear,
You can
right?
just imagine it
Okay.
like
Good
two
again.
walls. Yeah, you can just imagine it like two walls which are there. So there's a top wall which has been taken into account, and there's a side wall. So now if you just move towards the right side, on the left side you have the Binet formation where you have just marked a underline over there. On the right side of where your cursor is right now, so that is again the same range mapping towards the left one. So within the same range we are getting more zigzags top and down. So it is again causing a kind of a support resistance over there. But beyond that particular point, it is a free flow. So all are coming into effect, but then you could always trade faster and better based on whatever time frame you are using. If you are going for a early time frame like 1 minute or 5 minutes rather than 30 minutes, so you can get even more precise entries. If the same chart you check it on a lower time frame, maybe 5 minutes or 1 minute, you would be able to get even a precise entries. So you can just flip the time frames for just checking what is happening there.
Okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Kiki. Yeah.
Thanks.
Shiva, carry on.
Yeah.
So see, what we are discussing right now in the presentation is that what is working for the person who is presenting, right? So he has a particular concept which is working for him, and we allow him to actually explain his concept. And there's a lot where we can learn from what they are doing. And of course, after that, if we still have questions, then we can always take it on one-to-one with them. Yeah, so that way I think it works better. Yeah, carry on, Shiva.
Next coming to Adani Ports positional long trade. So on daily chart there is a previous high breakout. If you look at right, my top red line chart. So I gave an indication of buying. So that's where after breakout next day I enter around 370. So with the stop below 340. So later what happened, you can able to see clearly. So it did a retest, and then it's flying like anything, and now it is around 535. So able to see here, right? So this is the Adani Port chart. So it broken previous swing high over here. So here I entered with a stop loss below 340 precisely. So and then it did multiple retests of previous highs, recent swing highs, right? If you look at right. So here it did retest, and then once it break out, because it become a range bound because there is no strength. If you look at on a candlestick, right? See, there is no strength over here. Though it broken and closed above, there is no strength. That's the reason why there is a range bound. Once it break out and did a retest, and you can see later what happened. Any questions on this? Adani
Very interesting. Very interesting. So basically, what you're trying to highlight, Shiva, is that the role of overlaps, right?
So thing is that whenever there is a recent swing high gets broke, where you need to enter 1/5 of your positional trade.
In this particular case, where would you enter 1/5?
So after here, right? So this is the recent swing high, or is this 0.5? So it closed about here.
Okay.
On a particular November 5th, it closed around 368.65. So that means both of the highs taken out, 366 and 364.4. So that's where I made my entry in the next day around 370. And then because there is no strength here, if you look at candlesticks, right? It's like this because that is the reason why it is still in nation and is range bound, but never closed. So that's the reason why I took trade over here and it keep on going. So once
now that is one. You entered with one position there, right?
Yeah.
So where would you add? Where would you add the further positions?
So here there is a breakout, right? On 17th November.
Yes.
So here you can enter. It's clear breakout and with a good strength candle. And also next day, if you look at right on 18th November, there is a strength candle. So whenever, as per NimblrTA, whenever two consecutive strength candles, so it is a kind of reversal. It will go high. So that's where on retest you can enter over here. On 23rd November. So if you look, you mark your lines, right? I'll just mark over here. This is the excellent retest.
Yeah. So what is your strategy? Basically, when you are trading, you'll first take the first 1/5. You will take when there's a first swing high breakout taken, right?
Correct.
And then you will take the second one when there's a consecutive NC waiting formed and there's a retest happening. That is where you're going to enter second time.
Yeah, that's where we will add some more because we have confidence now. It has made two consecutive strength candles. So on retest we need to add more.
Okay.
That's one.
Good.
So on a line chart, you look at right. So it's clearly saying it is going up. So that's first my understanding, right? Irrespective of whether it is strength or invasion. So I'll make one good position over here.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, Shiva.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm having one doubt here. You are not looking any CCI before entering or taking the position. CCI values.
But also you can look, but I'll go with this line chart.
Okay.
It will be ahead. So as Nimbler sir says, line charts are peaceful and ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
So you won't find much noise over here on a line chart. It will be pretty much clear. It has taken the previous swing highs. So that's where I made my 1/5 entry. And then upon retest around here, I made some more because there is two consecutive candles. That is a reversal. So it will go high. That's one. And if you look at CCI, right, for sure it will be there, CCI. Let me add for you.
Yeah. Because that will be a sort of a filter. It will means avoid if there is no momentum further. So wrong positioning will get avoided. That's what the point.
So in trading or investing, right, you cannot avoid losses.
Okay. Yeah. I know that.
We are part of probability and well-defined NimblrTA.
Correct.
No way to exit.
So Shiva, the next question I would have in mind is that now how do you identify these stocks? Now, suppose you are showing Adani port. And now, how did you know that this place is happening? You know, the breakout is happening here, or you know, you're going to take a position here. So, what is your strategy? Like, you have a list of stocks which you are going to identify, or how do you choose?
No, sure, sir. I usually check the Nifty 50 stocks previously. Okay, that's where I used to daily check after the market or in the market time. I used to check daily line chart and candlestick chart.
So for all the 50 stocks.
All the 50 stocks, I will do manual scanning. There is no like scanner I am using. So recently, if you look at right, I added many stocks. Previously, I have only 50 stocks. So I'm going through all of these, and if I find any good setup, I'll make an entry. So my time frame for intraday, I'll look at a 15 and 60 minutes. For positional, I'll check as a 60 minutes and daily.
Can you just repeat that again for all of us?
So for intraday trades, I take charts on 15 minutes and 60 minutes. Both the combination are
50, you said 15 minutes and 60 minutes.
Yeah, 15, okay. 4 times of 15. Okay. So lower time frame into 4 to 6 times. That I'll follow. And similarly for positional, hourly and daily.
And then how will you exit these positions?
Based on the 2.28% on based on
come again.
2.28% of
2.28%. 2.28% of the entry.
Not of the entry. Recent IC low minus.
Recent IC
low. As NimblrTA theory. So if you look at over here, right, I'll go on to candlesticks. So here, right, this is a breakout. So based on this previous swing low, so this one is low around 341. So we can take 341 minus 2.28%. So it will be around 335.
So that is the stop loss, right?
Yeah, correct.
How do you book the profits? Targets.
Profits, what I'll do, I'll trial based on IC, sir. So this, for example, if you look at right, this low should not go. But again, this low should not go. IC. So whenever there is IC, just mark that IC and minus 2.28%. If you looking at a daily, it's a hourly. You just need to exit with a 0.38%.
So you are using a system of trailing SLs.
Right.
Okay, so you don't have a target in mind, correct?
So I thing is that I'm not. I'll just flow with the price.
Okay, that's nice.
So Shiva, on the left-hand side, you have these Fibonacci extensions. You know where that pitchfork thing is. Have you tried using some of those? Let's say if you were to do, you know, from your 313 to 364, and then draw your extensions.
Yeah.
Have you tried to play around with that?
I never tried, and I don't know about these Fibonacci series. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll just flow with the price and trial based on ICs. That's a very easy task to do. So no need to keep some targets in mind. Just flow with the price. Whenever you are happy, book the gains as per the Nimbler surface.
Yes, Shiva, this is a really nice point you have mentioned, that whenever we are happy, so we should look for profits rather than being a bit more greedy and looking furthermore, because whenever it happens, then stock usually flows in the opposite direction and then we make losses. So that's something really nice if we all keep that in mind to book the profits.
Yeah, happy index matters.
Exactly, true, right.
Wonderful, very nice. Good, Shiva. You have some more charts for us too? Yeah.
I think I am almost done. So,
good. So if you have some questions for Shiva, we can ask him. If you have some questions, anybody can ask Shiva. किसी का कोई सवाल हो तो पूछिए.
I have a question. कि आपने
please introduce yourself one before asking. Just please say who's speaking, so we know that this is Yash, right?
Hi. Yes, it's Yash this side.
Yes.
So my question is that जो आपने ट्रेड किया प्रीवियस हाई को ब्रेक करा उसने, तो अभी मैं आपने ट्रेड किया जैसे कि उसने प्रीवियस हाई में ब्रेक किया और दूसरा रिटेस्ट में किया. दूसरे रिटेस्ट में हमने क्वांटिटी ओढ़ ली. बट इसमें निम्बलर टीए मतलब हमने जो निम्बलर सर के कॉन्सेप्ट है तो सर का निम्बलर सर ने जो हमारी देशना सर ने हमें जो बताया था उसके अकॉर्डिंगली आपने मतलब कौन सा कॉन्सेप्ट इसके अंदर वो किया अप्लाई किया?
Yeah, so Shiva is trying to ask you that you have taken two positions. 1/5 you've taken on the breakout and 1/5 on retest, right? Trespassing.
Right.
So basically, are you following the NimblrTA concept of SIRS in doing that? That is your question, yes?
Yes, right.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. If you look at over here, right? So here it closed above. This is where point. Okay. So I enter my 1/5 position because on a wave theory, on closing recent above recent high, that's a breakout, irrespective of whether it is IC or MC. You don't need to worry much and just enter 1/5. If it goes against, you will lose only 1/5 of your loss. If it goes like if you find some strength candles and retest, add some more.
So there's anyway a descending happening there, is it, Shiva?
Yeah, right. Here it is a descending, and then jump.
So the moment the previous peak is broken, you're taking, that's valid.
Yeah, that's how we will go, sir. So recent high is always we need to mark and make an entry. So whenever there is a recent low takes out, so we need to think of on closing basis, we need to think and exit. That's a point.
Yes, is your question answered? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
So basically, it's trying to say that there's a descending which has formed, and then after that, there's an impulse which is happening from the descending. That means immediately after the descending, the previous zigzag high is getting taken off. So that is where it's entering one, and then the second one is entering on the retest. So that's valid. Yes.
Definitely.
Here you look at right. So someone has to this here. It is above 110 on the day of breakout, but though it is a IC.
Yes.
So later on you can see.
Good. Any other questions for Shiva?
Yeah. Hi, this is Jalaj. I had just one question. Sorry if it's too basic to ask, but how do you move between time frames? So like you began with Adani or with Reliance. So we were looking at 1 day. So you didn't for Adani, how did you make use of the 60-minute here?
60 minutes.
Yeah, so I'm just trying to make sense. How do you shift between the time frames and how do you make sense? Are they talking to each other? That's
So your question is that how is he using the discretion, right?
So Shiva, you did this homework the previous day. When did you enter? On a 15-minute time frame, on a 1 hour time frame?
So next
the
day
homework was done on a previous day.
Yeah. So next day I did enter. Just a minute. So the immediate next day I made my entry, and then it got over here, right? So this where it's closed, and then immediate next day I made my entry over here.
Yeah. So Shiva, what is wanting to ask you is that the choice of time frame which you make, no? So basically, like what will you do? Like the previous day when you're scanning the charts, you're scanning the charts of 60 minutes also, you're scanning the charts of 15 minutes, 30 minutes also. How do you decide?
So on the end of the day, I usually go with the daily chart. During time, I'll go with 15 and 60. So this was scanned end of the day. And then I found there is a good entry. So immediate day, I made my entry.
Okay.
Here is my stop loss below this.
Jalaj, is your question answered?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Yeah, Shiva, you have anything else to share further? Any other questions anybody wants to ask?
Nothing much, guys. As Nimbler says, just flow with the price, never argue with the price, and have a clear mindset. So if you are making any entry, define your stops initially, and then just flow with and trial. Always trial your positions so that you will exit very early than others. so that it will become some profit or some loss. That's okay. So in this markets, right? So no one is right, no one wrong. We just need to flow with the price and make your stops clear and just follow with it. That's all I have.
Wonderful. Very nice, Shiva. Good. So Shiva, it was excellent. Now, what I could actually understand from your session is that how we can use NimblrTA for positional trading, right? That's a nice thing to learn. And of course, as Shiva mentioned, no, that's it's basically the NimblrTA concept is actually a dynamic concept, है ना? तो इसमें बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो आप जैसे जैसे यूज करते हैं वैसे वैसे you start kind of getting used to it. और आपकी स्किल उस पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट में बढ़ जाती है. जैसे बहुत लोग हैं जो इंट्राडे में बहुत अच्छा करते हैं, बहुत है जो आप जो शिवा का देखा तो ये पोजीशनल में बहुत अच्छा करता है, बहुत अच्छा परफॉर्मेंस है इसका. तो ही इज बेसिकली काइंड ऑफ इसका पूरा ट्रेडिंग कॉन्सेप्ट हो गया कि मैं पोजीशनल ट्रेड करूं बिकॉज दैट इज व्हाट सूट्स हिम एंड ही अंडरस्टैंड्स दैट बेटर. तो ये काफी डायनेमिक है और हम ओपन रह सकते हैं. वी कैन ऑल बी ओपन दैट इट मे सो बी दैट आपको डेली टाइम फ्रेम सूट कर रहा है, किसी को इंट्राडे सूट कर रहा है, किसी को पोजिशनल सूट कर रहा है. वी नेवर नो. कईयों को स्विंग सूट कर रहा है, कईयों को स्कैल्पिंग, जैसे पिछली बार हमने सुमुख का देखा वो स्कैल्पिंग में मास्टर है, सेम कॉन्सेप्ट को यूज करता है. So it is totally up to you, but it is a very nice presentation. Thank you very much, Shiva. It was very, very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Come be around with us and be there. I know it is festival time, but then it's nice of you to take out time for us.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Good, then we move to the next section now, which is now this next section is a section which I thought of introducing because of a lot of interaction I had with you. Like पिछले कुछ एक सवा महीने में बहुत लोगों से interaction हुआ है, 1-to-1 interaction हुआ और बहुत सारी stories आपने बताई अपने बारे में. किस तरह से आप एक्चुअली किस NimblrTA में क्यों आए. मेरा बेसिक क्वेश्चन ये रहता है कि आप NimblrTA में क्यों आए. And then the stories which we hear is about I would say 80% of the stories that इससे पहले जो कर रहे थे काम नहीं किया, काफी losses हो गए. And then many of you start using NimblrTA also, but then still that confidence, that confidence नहीं आ रहा है, वो डर लग रहा है कि इसमें भी कहीं loss नहीं लग जाए. So I thought, why not share something from my experience, because many years ago I was also into the same phase, where कुछ नहीं आता था और technical analysis course किया था and we started, I did my course. I don't know whether Rakesh will know. Rakesh is from Calcutta, so there's a institute called Viratech there, which they were the pioneers. I know, but Rakesh, you know about Viratech?
Viratech, sure. I've done, sir, I've done my course from Credent. So Viratech was also on.
Viratech was much earlier than Crescent.
Credent side, right?
Actually. Yes.
So
वहाँ से क्या करके I was very enthusiastic, कि I learned a lot of, things. I learned crossover, I learned this, I learned that, and then I got into trading. And then as it happens, went into options, and lost a lot of money. तो वो उस समय जो एक trauma था, of course, God was kind that I was able to recover, but there was a time when I stopped trading altogether because confidence नहीं आया कि क्या करें क्या नहीं करें. And then in that process, I came across a few people, and I came across few actually good people who guided me as to what I can do, like this, how to handle this trauma. And so that is what I want to present right now in front of you. That it is स्वाभाविक है, like 80% of us who are there right now have come to this background. Maybe, I mean, that is my assumption. And it is nothing. It is not a qualification. Like I remember somebody putting up a kind of there was a picture which you put up, and Nimblr had quoted on that picture saying that it is not a pre-qualification that you have to suffer a loss and be here. That's not necessary. It is ठीक अगर हो गया है तो उसको कैसे handle करें. So can I have the presentation, please? Yeah. So we have to understand the whole concept of the mind and the intellect and the memory. Like there's a combination of intellect and memory. So if you understand about the faculties, the various faculties which actually govern us, जो बहुत सारी चीजें हमें govern करती है, उसमें हम क्या पाते हैं कि Mind के बाद एक mind, immediately after the mind, you have a faculty which is the intellect, which is judgment factor. Sorry, judgment मतलब क्या कि yes no जो हम करते हैं, ले नहीं ले, करें नहीं करें, and उसके इमीडिएटली उसकी जो फीड है, जो करे नहीं करे, जो इंटेलेक्ट की जो फीड होती है, इंटेलेक्ट कहाँ से डिसाइड करता है, a lot depends on the memory. So memory is something which drives the intellect, you know. And अगर memory में trauma है, you know, if you have a trauma in the memory, if you have, अगर memory में कुछ ऐसा setback है, तो हम हमारा intellect बिल्कुल clarity से काम नहीं करेगा, because memory हमेशा हावी होती है. That is the reason if you really look into your personal life, you know, there are friendships there are relationships which you maintain for 21 years, 20 years, 30 years की relationship होती है, वो एक दिन में खत्म हो जाती है, एक दिन में टूट जाती है, क्योंकि वो memory आपके साथ कुछ ऐसा घटता है और आप you realize that you know, the memory gives us such a picture in front of you that something so big has happened, it will multiply that negativity in front of you, and then immediately, you know, the judgment becomes faulty, and then you will kind of break up the relationship and not reflecting on the past, so many years of togetherness, so many years of friendship together. So the intellect gets clouded because of the memory. So it is very important that this memory is handled, you know, and this memory cannot be handled. It cannot be handled just by reading. It cannot be handled by not knowing the skills how to handle it. So if you really see, all those who are actually talking about this past trauma, whenever you're taking a present trade, these will be the few you know, traits which you'll find when in your mind when as to what is happening. Either there'll be a fear to take that trade of what you have gone through in the past, or there will be a lot of doubts regarding the trade. There'll also be a guilt related to maybe आपने लोन लेके किया है, आपने जो भी लॉस हुआ, लोन लेके लॉस था, तो वो गिल्ट हमेशा रहेगा कि देखो कैसे मैंने अपनी फ्यूचर इनकम को मोर्टगेज कर दिया या मेरी फैमिली की खुशी को मोर्टगेज कर दिया. तो गिल्ट का एक फैक्टर बहुत बड़ा एक फैक्टर रह जाता है जीवन. एंड ऑफ कोर्स द अनसर्टेनिटी इज देयर. एंड व्हाट हैपेंस इन दिस प्रोसेस इज दैट, यू नो, हम चीजों को डिले करने लगते हैं. अब आपने एक ट्रेड तो ले लिया, लेकिन वो ट्रेड अब अगर स्टॉप लॉस हिट कर रहा है तो स्टॉप लॉस को नीचे करते जाते हैं, क्योंकि हम फिर भी होपफुल होते हैं कि नहीं ये ट्रेड अच्छा करेगा. So we start bending the rules and we start you know, booking early. अगर टारगेट हिट कर रहे हैं तो टारगेट से पहले निकल जाते हैं, क्योंकि डर है कि ये लॉस लग सकता है, इसको ले लेते हैं. So the whole intellect gets clouded. So now the question is how to solve this. इसको कैसे solve करें? Now the nature of the mind becomes very important here. If you really practically want to solve this, इसमें बहुत जरूरी है कि आप अपने मन को समझिए, क्योंकि मन अगर नहीं समझेंगे, मन के बारे में अगर नहीं जानेंगे, मन को अगर नहीं समझेंगे तो इसको सॉल्व नहीं कर पाएंगे. बिकॉज टेक्निकली स्पीकिंग इट इज जस्ट नॉट पॉसिबल, बिकॉज मेमोरी इज वेरी 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 पावरफुल एंड इट्स लाइक a layer on layer, you know, each layer it's like overlapping, as you say in our language. You know, there's one layer, then the second layer, then the third layer, and it becomes like a mountain and very difficult to handle. So a little about the mind then, you know, we move on to the next slide. You can actually have a look at the mind. Now the what the mind, you know, as I mentioned, there will be two aspects to your decisions, you know. Why the uncertainty? एक क्या होगा कि एक गुस्सा होगा हमेशा, you know, there's this anger and guilt from the past, you know, ऐसा हुआ है. And that is where revenge trading comes in, you know. How can I be defeated? And then that is where we start taking more risks, you know. We double our positions without knowing what we are doing, and because we want to make up, you know, the losses. So that anger from the past is there, the guilt from the past is there, which actually makes us do that. And then the second is that in some cases, what I will do is I will have this whole anxiety, you know, कि इस trade का क्या होगा, इस trade का क्या होगा, and I'll start booking early. I will not wait for the 15 time because वो उतना confidence नहीं है. Trade लेने का confidence दिख रहा है chart में कि कुछ अच्छा है इसमें, लेकिन लेने का confidence नहीं, because there's a fear of uncertainty, there's a fear, you know, of the uncertainty कि होगा कि नहीं होगा. Now the question is that if I really want to work on this, I have to work on skills on getting my mind in the present. But that is the only way where you can solve this, that how much of presence of mind you have, you know, how much, how calm you are. Being calm means what? Being calm is being in the present. Being presence of mind, matlab kya? Being in the present. Like, are you actually in the moment? Are you able to see that entire chart without any prejudice? You know, are you able to see that entire chart without any kind of inhibitions? जो आपके सामने है, क्या आप उसमें चार्ट में फ्लो कर पा रहे हैं कि नहीं कर पा रहे हैं? That is what matters, and that can only happen when you are in the present. So what really this whole concept is understanding took a little time in my life, but then the moment I understood that, you know, it is actually the mind which is playing the tricks, And if I really want to erase my past memories, I have to be more in the present. मुझे को वर्तमान में ज़्यादा रहना है. I have to be more in what is happening right now. So the next question comes forward is कि अगला सवाल क्या खड़ा होता है कि कैसे करें इसको, how to do it. And I tell you, it is very simple. The way I learned it is very simple to do it. It is just that you have to harness your breath. Your breath is the key. आपकी सांस आपकी key है इसमें, because the breath is the only thing which is in the present. And if you are little attentive about your breath, if you are little attentive of what if you learn a few skills on how to handle your breath, you will see that the mind settles and the past settles. It is like that, So बहुत जरूरी है कि आप अपने सांस पे ध्यान दीजिए. Very important that you learn certain techniques. I mean, many of you must be already doing some lot of breathing techniques. It is very important that these techniques are learned and practiced. I tell you, there is no other practical way of solving this problem unless you actually delve into the issue of the breath. Because practically, breath ही आपके साथ है हर वक्त है, और उसी पर अगर आप anchoring डाल देते हैं, if you anchor on the breath, which is always in the present, it becomes a beautiful and a fantastic tool to handle your traumas. What I found in my life was that, of course, I came across a beautiful technique called Sudarshan Kriya, which I learned, and then of course I practice it every day. And this entire Kriya helped me a lot. Okay, there could be other techniques which you may know, which we may be practicing. Any technique which is connected with a rhythmic breathing is good enough to handle this. So the first thing to handle this trauma is that you have to harness the power of your breath. That is the first thing which you have to do. And once that happens, once you are able to harness your breath, you are more in the moment. The impressions of your past can get erased with the help of meditation. When you are meditating, when you are spending a little time with yourself, when you turn yourself off from the world, sitting down 20 minutes in a day are enough. Any time in the day you sit. As you start practicing meditation, as you start getting into the deeper state, you will find that layer after layer, all this overlaps which you're talking about will get taken away. And that is where your real strength will come. See, to defeat this trauma, you don't need external help. It is not needed. You see, any book you consult, there'll be a lot of books which are written. There are a lot of theory which people will give. But I tell you that it is all within you. आप कर सकते हैं, सिर्फ आपको अपनी सांस की पावर को समझना है, उसको हार्नेस करना है, और उसके बाद once the focus comes, get into meditation. Again, without the power of the breath, meditating becomes very difficult. You will sit down to meditate, but there'll be a lot of thoughts bombarding, and it won't help. So this is what actually worked in my life. I do a lot of reading, of course, and I do a lot of मैं बहुत आदत है मुझे छोटे से पढ़ने की. Books don't help beyond the point. It is certain practical things which you have in your body, which have been gifted to you, which can solve this problem. So my advice to all of you who have been suffering this, I can tell you from my experience is that thoda samay nikaliye, sit down with yourself, learn some breathing techniques, do some pranayams on a daily basis, and then get into the practice of meditation. That will bring your confidence back. That is going to bring your trust back. Now, another thing which will help you here is, it is very difficult to very easy actually to fool your mind. There is this whole concept in our, if you go through the Indian mythology, you get a concept of called Tathastha concept. There are you must have heard about you must have heard your grandfather tell you stories that there are angels around you, and then जो सोचते हैं वो होने लगता है, वो तथास्थ बोलते हैं, और आप जो सोचेंगे वो होने लगेगा. The idea is that you have to fool your mind, as NimblrTA says, and that is it is easy to do that. Here the whole Western concept of auto suggestion comes in. कि किस तरह अपने आप को आप पॉजिटिविटी में रखिए, किस तरह आप अपने आप को ये सजेस्ट करते रहिए कि लॉस जैसी चीज है ही नहीं, जीवन पॉसिबल ही नहीं है, and visualize that particular concept of that you are into profit, you are making enough profits, and create that entire space of abundance around you. That is very important. There are two states in which you can live our lives. One state is the state of lack. जब कुछ नहीं है, कम है, कम है, कम है, वो जब स्टेट ऑफ लैक होता है तो वैसा ही आपके जीवन में होने लगता है, हर जगह वैसा होने लगेगा, पैसे के मामले में वैसा होने लगता है, रिलेशनशिप के मामले में होने लगता है. And the other one is to stay in a state of abundance. When you are saying that you have enough, you're doing very well, you are नहीं, आप practically नहीं कर रहे होंगे, लेकिन आप ये दिमाग में mindset रखिए कि आप बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं. And slowly you will see that that's what nature starts giving you. Because, you know, the rule of nature is attraction, always attraction. Whatever you attract is delivered to you. You know, the whole nature is perfect. It doesn't identify between good and bad. It is just a balance. It is perfect in itself. So whatever you think will manifest in your life, and that manifestation का जो power है, उसको ही हम misuse कर लेते हैं, उसके कारण फंस जाते हैं. अब ये mindset जब रह जाता है, मैं loss all the time, loss, तो वही होने लगता है जीवन में. अगर आप कोई भी टेक्निक सीख लेते हैं, फिर भी वो loss दिमाग में चल रहा है, तो वही आपके चारों तरफ होने लगता है. और उसी तरह अगर वो माइंडसेट को थोड़ा बदल देते हैं, थोड़ा सा चेंज कर दें और उसको पॉजिटिव माइंडसेट में आ जाए कि नहीं, मैं अच्छा कर रहा हूँ, मैं सीख रहा हूँ, मैं अच्छा करने वाला हूँ, और विजुअलाइज करें, यू नो, हैव अ गोल इन योर माइंड दैट ओके, यू नो, दिस इज वेयर आई एम एंड दिस इज वेयर आई वांट टू बी. आई थिंक द होल concept will change. So from this edition of ORB Adda, I thought that every month I'm going to recommend a book, you know, which I have read and which has helped me in life. So in this context, जो आज का context है, you know, trauma of the past, and how to build that positive thought, you know, how to baffle your mind and how to kind of fool your mind. This is a beautiful book, you know, which I've read, and this is a book called Ask and It Is Given. This is the book which was behind the book Miracle, behind the book The Secret, you know, The Secret आपने पढ़ी होगी, देखी होगी. ये जो बुक के ऑथर्स हैं वो सीक्रेट के पीछे भी थे. A big part of the book Secret is actually taken from this particular book. So if whenever you have time, you know, over the next month, get this book, and this book talks about a lot of ways in which you can handle your mind, your thought process, and auto suggestions, and how you can build up that confidence that everything is right, you know, how nature doesn't differentiate between good and bad. It is just आप जो चाहते हैं वो होता है और वही होगा. तो आप अगर कम चाहोगे तो कम होगा, आप अगर ज्यादा चाहोगे तो ज्यादा होगा. You know, in fact, this whole concept, you know, which we introduced last week about pay as much as you can, you know, and there were a lot of you who in fact came forward and you paid more than what was needed. I mean, हमने जितना रखा था उसमें से आप कुछ लोग इस मीटिंग में भी हैं अभी, आपने ज्यादा दिया, and that is what I actually went on to tell you, that, you know, this is the mindset which you have to have, you know. This book talks about it, that how you can manifest you know, the abundance in your life. And that abundance is very easy to get. You know, I've tried it in my life. I've been very successful, and the same thing can apply. It's not rocket science. आप भी अपने जीवन में इसको apply कर सकते हैं, and it is very easy, very easy. So get into it, and I think this what I've spoken will definitely help you in your life forward. अगर ये trauma आपके जीवन में है तो, and of course. एक कम्युनिटी है, आप एक कम्युनिटी के साथ हो. Nimbler community is very strong now, and there are people who are presenting cases who have done it in their lives. So it is practically possible to use this entire concept to come into green again, and people are doing it, and you can also do it. Have that confidence in yourself. So if you have some questions related to this, I can take a few questions, and I can move on then. Does it sound good? Did it make some sense?
Yes, Anurag, wonderful. And your experiences would be useful for many of us, and in order to tame our mind for better. So that is something which is required by all of us. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you, KK. And if you have any questions, you can ask, please. Anything related to this?
So I have my takeaway, Anurag.
Rakesh. Yeah,
and
Rakesh.
Something for me to work on, of course, is procrastination. And there's a large part of it in my life which I keep procrastinating, be it in personal life, you know, even in trading. Though, you know, I've been fairly successful, but I always look up and I see the amount of content that you and Kiki keep putting out, the content that is generated. And, you know, it's been an aspiration to at least be 1/4 of that due to my full-time job. But, you know, so that is a takeaway for me. And
Rakesh, that is where I want you to correct the sentence and say that double of your content. Why 1/4?
Double of your content.
Why
Yeah.
restrict yourself to 1/4?
Stages.
No,
Small goal.
double bolo सीधा. ऐसा ही
Yeah,
होगा.
aspirations must be higher, right? Then only you will be reaching those.
True.
So,
It is not only about aspirations, actually. It is basically, you have to really visualize that you are there. Not that there's anything to reach. That is what makes the difference. Because whenever there will be something where you want to achieve, there's always a lack. So you have to be in a state that it is there. You're already there, and you see it manifests in life. So that is what that is what the Indian thought processes, and that is something which is based on a lot of experience in the past. So that is how it is. Very nice, very nice. In fact, Rakesh, that is something good. Yeah. Yes. Anybody else wants to ask or share your experiences regarding this? How you have been able to handle these losses in your life? It will be nice for others to know. Yes. Good. So we move on now to the next part. We have Rakesh, who will be presenting his favorite setup, and he just spoke just now. And this Rakesh is an interesting guy because what I love in him is he's very spontaneous. That is what I've seen over the years, and witty, spontaneous, and best part of him is that he's one person who is open to admit his mistakes, and learn from them. That is what I've observed in you, Rakesh, and that is something very interesting, because that is a very big, very interesting trait of a trader, to move on from one point to the other, overcoming your mistakes. So what are you presenting, Rakesh? Please go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. One second. Let me just. One second. Let me share my screen. I think Anuragji, you'll have to pass the ball on to me.
Yeah, Rakesh, are you there now? Can you check?
Yeah, I'm there. You'll have to. I'm not getting the. Oh, yeah. Now I am.
Yeah, you have it now.
Yeah. Thank you. So good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rakesh Gupta, and like all of us, consider myself a NimblrTA student. My daughter is, of course, in the making. So this brief journey about myself, from 1988 to about 2004, I was in St. Xavier's, which is in Kolkata. And from 2004 till date, I've been working with Wipro full time. Got married in about 2013. And 2014, prior to this, I would, of course, trade, positional trades from 2007-8 onwards. And whatever I would take would be more on years, say, 2007-8, there was no technical analysis in my book. And then I moved on, like, Anuragji mentioned, in 2014. Did a course from Credent Academy. Credent Academy is owned by a person called Vivek Bajaj. Some of y'all might know him through the Stock Edge app, right? And pretty decent course. But pre-leading this course, I had already done my reading up on technical analysis and seen enough videos. So when the time came to learn the course, there was nothing new that I would learn, and it didn't focus that much on price action. Of course, it was mostly based on trend following and things like that. Up until then, probably, I would not be an intraday player. So from 2015 is when I started, proper intraday trades. And what I found, of course, like everybody else, the easiest option is to get into something which is going to burn your hands, known as Nifty and Bank Nifty options. Okay. So personal recommendation, if you're starting off, please do not, though it is an easy entry point with limited capital, It's a personal suggestion not to go over there. And 2016, I think that's when probably me, I think Anurag sir and KK also, we found Nimla around about the same time. And I would be mesmerized by this person's charts as well as, he would give these positional trades along with, a duration. And I'd never ever seen that, right? If you're on, Twitter for finance, you'll find a whole lot of people giving recommendations, but they will never tell you 1 month, couple of weeks, 8 weeks, 5 weeks, and things like that, right? That's when I found out it's basically the duration of, CCI moving from point A to point B is when you can anticipate, some of those targets to come in. Fast forward from then, this just kept some personal stuff, some of my favorite movies. Scam 1992, of course, is just recently come up, but Braveheart, Mel Gibson is one of my all-time favorites, along with a movie called Pay It Forward. Now, I'm not too sure how many of y'all have seen this movie, but I can tell you something that, not only Nimla sir, but as well as what Anurag is doing, as well as Krishna is doing, is actually paying it forward, right? And NimblrTA, personally for me, would not be, possible for all of us, if it weren't for these two, with the help of, making these tools, nicely priced, available for all the masses, right? Back in the day, I would, go on Twitter, ask Nimla sir a whole lot of questions, how to get CCI multi-time frame. And of course, being with Credent, in the initial days, you get Spider software as a setup, you get Trading Fox as a setup, Fox Pro as a setup. And we tried our best to, replicate some of these solutions in terms of strength candle, multi-time frame, but it would somehow not get, you would not get those just-in-time alerts. Okay. These I've just taken probably this year, though I've been, thankfully I've been profitable in most of my trading years except for one. And this was just to, go ahead and prove a point, because I saw some people on Twitter and stuff like that, trying to judge and ask whether it's working, not working, right? So this was just out there to prove that, yes, NimblrTA does work. Of course, for me, it is the holy grail, and it would definitely take some time, and it is very much possible for everybody to put in that work. Moving on, some of my favorite setups, which I would like to highlight, is of course, the ORB BOs which are in place. Favorites, and I have my favorites, like, some of us believe that some stocks are for them. I have made some serious, money when it comes to ITC. Siemens, of course, is also pretty good for me. But ITC and SBI are kind of my favorites, and I generally try to get in one scalp every single day, at least in ITC, right? But even while taking these ORB breakouts, right, it is very, very important that you actually move to the left and see if there's some sort of, accumulation range which has taken place prior to 2 days. You can quickly do it by, just going to the minus button if you're using the setup, and, take a look whether there's some sort of accumulation, distribution, what has happened in the previous 2 days, right? And, once you see some accumulation happening, or if the stock has been in a zone per se, right, and you have, CCI going up and stuff like that, then no matter what, and this is what I've practiced all throughout this year, is irrespective of whatever happens, till the time it does not break the ORB, right, you wait till 315 and be happy whatever you get at 315. Sometimes you might get a higher low, and it does come out prior to 315. But personal recommendation is wait till 315 and you will see that magic happen, right? Second favorite setup, and of course, which is now readily coded by both Anurag as well as Krishna, is the hourly ICMC BO, right? And some of my favorite setups would be to enter somewhere around, I'm sorry, but this screenshot doesn't show it very well, but try to enter, next to the 61.8 fib. And the good thing is you have these zigzag marks. So go to where the previous highs are, wait for about a 61.8 fib retracement, and look on top, on the left-hand side, look at, whether to see this, there's some sort of shunting opportunities which are there, right? And the moment you see an ICMC breakout, just bang it. In fact, you could call a much more riskier trader. I start placing my bets the moment I see something like this, or I would start placing layered my bets over here and little bit on the open and close as well. Any questions so far? Okay. Second, since because of the nature of my job, sometimes I don't generally get up at 9:15 always, but I try to wait after those shakeouts happen. And I feel that the best time that I've seen, at least for some of these pullback entries, it's either ways. If you're trying a quick scalp, is at about 1:30 ish, and then you kind of get what you can and try and exit by 3:12, 3:13, or 3:15. But you just must ensure that CCI is still in order. And of course, like we mentioned, the previous day is not a high, or it is somewhere at the bottom. That's when you know that today is going to be one of those good days. Some of the homework which I do, since I mostly do FNO, and this has kind of helped me, is I've subscribed to my FNO as well. What it does is it actually gives you a graphical representation of OI built up, what is the delivery, and whether PCR is actually increasing, right? And this helps me, of course, gives me a quicker guide to where where to scan and where to see. You can also go ahead and use the RRG as well as what KK has put up over there to see what has moved in the various blocks. If there's a change in one of the quadrants, so let's say for Infi per se, right? And then utilize what is available in terms of all the NimblrTA resources over there. Okay. If you're serious enough and if you have like big positions in in FNO, then it is suggested that along with some sort of technical analysis, this might give you an added edge. It kind of shows you where some of the apart from your ICMCs, would kind of give you the range when you take a look at options where the highest calls or puts have been there. So in your back of the mind, you're just triple confirming along with NimblrTA, you're triple confirming that, okay, you're in the right selection. It's kind of a pre-homework. And then you're just waiting for your right entry to get it. In case if you're late, a late getter, if you wake up late, and if you know that, there's some sort of accumulation which has happened over here, then you know that even if you're wrong, right, once that retracement happens somewhere around the 61.85, high chances are at the end of the day, Mr. Operator is going to come back and try and take this stock up, right? So some of the things which I probably use on a daily basis and what has helped me, all of this is of course available in terms of real-time alerts, both by Anurag as well as Krishna. And I think a good starting point for some of y'all who have not taken up either of this would be the trading view indicator for the ICMC and the tiny BO breakouts. That would probably work very well as a starting point in order for you to practice some of these trades, right? And the last one, like I said, from the favorite book of that movie of mine, Pay It Forward. If you come across some interesting setups and you're like very, very, very confident, or you might be in Calcutta, we have a lot of CAs, a lot of companies which are homegrown over here. You might want to pay it forward, right? If something catches your eye. I happened to go to school with the owners of Everready, and he was a classmate of mine for 12, 14 years. And what caught my eye was that this is the last of what they have, the only flagship left for them. And I started seeing 100%, accumulation, 100% delivery right from May onwards, around the 60 levels, right? So that is when I, started asking of friends, some people who, of course, who don't do TA, to start getting into Everready, right? A couple of other examples, like I mentioned, where we take a look at, somewhat accumulation. And of course, it does give you wave theory where you have, a lower low being formed. This was a day when India Cements actually went up and did a circuit. So you can see some of the messages. So if you do come across some interesting setups, we have our groups. It's a community-based group, right? If you're sure of something, you have a gut feel. I suggest that we come and put it over there when you're very, very sure of certain things.
Very interesting, Rakesh. In fact, I remember some of the messages you keep sending me also, sharing it, and that's something very, very nice. Yeah.
So only when I'm pretty sure of something, that's when I, try to push it in. Or if there's something which I've taken myself, or I'm sitting in right now, and I feel that there's a good opportunity, so that's when I actually get it. I've tried to take NimblrTA concept, but and the only difference what I've probably made in my trading is I only trade FNO, and like for everybody, there's a particular stock. I have a list of stocks. I would not trade your SRFs or your MRFs of the world, right? Barring that, I would trade any and everything. I happen to work in Wipro, and I've somewhere or the other, if I go short in Wipro, I never make money. So I feel that I can always go long, but short in Wipro is not meant for me. But a lot of us do trade Nifty and Bank Nifty options, owing to probably less of capital. But if you're starting out, it's a personal recommendation that that is fire, and you should not be playing with fire. So that's all I have to share today.
Rakesh, there are a lot of people who are very new. In fact, I think we have some people who have not even joined or not even, basically they have not learned NimblrTA here. So what is the message here for them? Because they are maybe coming here first time. They're interested in the stuff, but then maybe they didn't take the first step of maybe doing the candle analysis course or, joining the community.
Sure.
So what is your advice for them?
Yeah. So the first thing that I would advise, and we'll probably share the links over here, and trust me, from time to time I go back and I do some reading, and I spread a lot of this message amongst a lot of people in Wipro or my friends community. I think KK has created a very good and uh, uh, a wiki page, right? Where we have some of the earliest tweets, the basics of the breakout. What I would request you to do is, there's a lot of pre-material out there for anybody who's new and who's starting, right? Download Zerodha Varsity, right? And go through and this is what I recommend to all my friends. Okay, please go through the basics of technical analysis. At least what is a candle. There are a lot of videos by Adam Koo, which would tell you what is support, resistance, just the V basics, right? If you get your basics right, and if you can, draw support, resistance, open up a free TradingView account, then I would recommend you move through the wiki page, give it a reading, and definitely enroll for the candlestick analysis course, right? We were some of the privileged few to, we did the internship first. We were some of the first of sir's internship batch. But I would tell you with personal experience that, we were exposed to CCI. We would do a lot of pullback trading, use the alerts. So for us, probably ORB, breakouts are pretty strong, where we could see, whether it would come back or not, and candle shunting. But the candlestick course would help change a lot of things in terms of price action, and would give you, where, overlaps, when to get in, when to get out. And if you can master that, right? And I tell a lot of friends who want to join into trading, and some of this material is elsewhere. Uh, if you really want to be successful, then you need to, get your mind frame and go back to school, to a time where, where some of us were doing ICSE and CBSE. And for me, I perform under pressure. So I would like to go back, I read through some of those things and try and visualize, what this setup would be like. And trust me, believe it or not, one fine day when you're sitting in front of your system, you'll be like, okay, we need this lower low to happen, and then the stock is going to go berserk and go high, right? You would see things unfolding in front of you, trade by trade, candle by candle. and you would probably know, you'll be so confident, no, and you'll be sitting at ease, which uh, you'll not be jittery. What has happened over the last 1.5 years for me after doing this course is some of the position sizes which I trade, and of course, uh, I don't properly follow NimblrTA when it comes to the risk rewards, but I am at calm and I am at ease because I kind of see what is happening. I'm looking out, especially for overlaps, seeing where the higher highs are being made, seeing where the lower lows are being made, and I'm alert. And some of these tools have really, really, really helped me, and it's all available for you. For us, when we started out, it took more than 1 year, I think, for Anurag as well as Kikesa to at least build and code the concept for everybody. Now it is, probably every month, these guys go ahead and update the code, and it's available to everybody in the community, right? And very, very low prices. So don't look at it as an upfront, 3,000, 4,000. Just look at it on a daily basis. You're spending 100 rupees in order to make 500,000, whatever it is that your heart desires on a daily basis, right? And you're part of a very unique and growing community, right? So here's wishing you all the very best. And if there's something or any guidance that anybody needs on, how to manage family as well as, a full-time job as well as trading, then I am always available at my handle, NimblrTA student. And I'll be glad to help. But please make uses of the resources, guys. And I can't stress enough on, going through and reading through that wiki page and taking it as if it were your ICSC or your ISC or your CBSC, right? After all, this is a business. This is going to be, trading income for you, speculative income under the various tax headers that you see, right? And the more you sow, that's how much you reap. So uh, you have to take out time, read it, and be obsessed about it, right? And if you feel good things will happen, eventually one day you'll be sitting in front of your screen and you will kind of see, okay, you know what, this is going to play out now, that is going to play out. Of course, yes, there are losses. Your mind does play away, but all my losses are, days where I've woken up late, I'm kind of bored, I am, co- more compulsive in nature, eager to get into a trade fast, without seeing whatever is possible around me, right? So avoid those impulses. Be calm, wait for it, and in a day you would get your one trade. You would get that one trade. In fact, I've reduced some of my sizes. I would trade probably 3-4 trades a day, and now I just trade about 1 or 2 a day, but I trade really big, and I kind of wait. I sit back and wait, and believe that it will happen. I would get that one ICMC breakout somewhere or the other, and when I do, I'm going to go full on for it. So that's all I had to share, guys.
I always, Rakesh, I always put it like like a marriage. You're married and you're happily married. That is what I see. So, it's like after marriage, the spouses tend to know the mood of each other just by, a glance or a feel around them, right? So the charts also do the same. Once you're married to your chart and, you're spending that kind of time and giving that kind of attention, you actually kind of start sensing what's happening, because when they're making certain moves, you know which way it's going, right? So they become very predictable in that sense. Any questions for Rakesh? If you want to ask him anything about what he presented, please ask him. This is the opportunity.
Hello. Hello.
Hi,
Yeah, who is this?
Yeah, this is Mohit here.
Yeah, Mohit, please say.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for your time and explaining the things in much detail. Actually, I am new here and I have no idea about the technical words which everyone is using, IC and this and that. So I want to know from where I can start. Let's say I'm a beginner. I have a knowledge of the technical things, but if I want to follow your things as a basic, from where to start? While during the session I check your websites also, where I found lot of things, too much information, how I can break down, because I have seen you have done so many things, astro, technical indicators in the trading view and all. So it's a very huge content. So as a beginner, from where to start? Sequence.
My personal suggestion, Mohit, would be to start off at the blog. Okay, read through that. And Anurag has a very good course on Udemy, right? So you start off at the blog, do a reading. You would kind of, you would come to know what the chart setup is like. For intraday, you would know what are the EMAs. And I'm assuming, since you mentioned, basics of what is a candle and stuff like that.
That is okay. Yeah.
Right. So start off at the blog, read through it, so you understand some of the basics of NimblrTA. There's Nimbler sir's blog, which is Varshasam, which is available. There's another, there's something by KK as well. And you can also go ahead and do a Udemy course, which is available by Anurag, which would help you at least on those ORB breakouts and what is it that we're talking about. Don't get perplexed by the terminologies. Once you go through the reading, right, you will understand and you would come to see that how simplified this is, right?
Okay.
In fact, Mohit, we have just posted a link on the thing, so you can. That's a guide which is for starters. Now, see what I would suggest is that what Rakesh has suggested is the way we went ahead in our lives, right, Rakesh? That is how we went ahead. We started with the Nimbler, with the Twitter timeline of Sir, and that is how we picked up. And of course, eventually we came up with a blog and we came up with all this stuff. But it was the Twitter timeline, the original, stuff was from the Twitter timeline. But now, fortunately, what is happening right now is that Nimbler sir, and that is the time when Nimbler sir was not teaching any course, right? So it was that whatever was available in the public domain, that is how we started. But you all are lucky that he has started taking a course. And the first course which I will suggest you should do is the Nimbler Candlestick course. That is the first course you should do. And that is a course for newcomers, basically, even if you don't have any experience about technical analysis, you can still enter that course because it talks a lot about, it starts from the scratch. Of course, if you have knowledge about it, it's the best thing to get into it. And it's a 3-day, 4-day course where the master himself is teaching. And this course is the course which is the best, stepping stone. That is, the course itself is one course is enough actually. If you do this 4-day, 5-day course, and it's a world full of opportunities for you because it talks about the various, it's like 40 years condensed into 4 days. That is what it is. Okay. And that is how you start. And that is where all these terms are mentioned. These are luckily, these are the only terms you will be using, maybe 4 or 5 of them. You don't need to know which kind of candle and, which kind of, whether it's a narrow range, whether it's out of engulfing candle or bullish or this and that. You don't have to get into all those stuff. He's made it so simple for us. So I would suggest you get into the candlestick course first. And of course, there's Nimbler sir's blog, which is the evergreen, flow of Amrit, I will say. That is where we all delve in whenever we have any issue. If I need to still find something which I'm getting a little confused, I actually will get into his Twitter timeline and look for it even right now. And of course, the wiki page by KK is a wonderful thing which is developed. There's a Udemy course which is there. So you can actually start in this particular order, and once you are there, then of course you can use the various tools which are of course add-ons for you. Yes, okay. So that is how it is. Yes. Okay. Any more questions for Rakesh? Then we can just move on to the last part. Yes. Good, Rakesh. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to have you, and it's actually very, very nice to have somebody who can, practically show that you can balance your work, you can balance your family and balance trading and do well in all the aspects of life. So that's a lot to learn from you. And I wish you luck moving forward, and do keep sending me those ever ready and ITC tips. Thank you so much.
For me as well, I have been working with Rakesh for a long time, so I have learned a lot of things from him. What kind of inputs he sends it to me, so those are the inputs basically help making the tools even better. And then he shares a lot of experiences with everyone. So I have had long chit chats with him, trying to understand how he tries to use the same tools which I use it in a different manner. So it's basically adapting whatever you know based on what your circumstances are. So it might be the same thing which you have learned, and it's the same candlesticks which somebody else has learned, but how I would use it or how you would use it, that might be completely customized based on your understanding. It's kind of a classroom where there are people who are good at football, there might be somebody good at music, there might be people good at
That's the
studies.
beauty. That's the
So
beauty of
that's the
NimblrTA.
beauty, exactly. So whatever is your edge, whatever you are able to adapt to, you just go for it. So that is only for you to decide what is best for you. So that is how you could just start and then move forward. So I would
Thank you
just
so much,
also like
Rakesh.
to
Thank you very much. It was
thank
wonderful.
Rakesh. Yeah,
Wonderful.
thanks.
Rakesh actually is a very good, very interesting teammate. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
maybe
Thank you. Sir, you're on mute. You muted yourself also.
yeah, in fact, yes. Can you hear me now? Yes. So we move forward to the last leg, another 10 minutes or so. I'll just update you at what's new at your academy. Of course, this last month, when we had last Adda, we spoke about the ICMC and the tiny-based, screener for MT4, which was launched last time, and that is actually working very well. So this month we have been purely working on TradingView, and we have come out with 3 products, which you have already, some of you are already using these products, and I'm very happy that these products actually are products which have come out very well, and many of you have come forward and appreciated the product. And to be very honest, even I didn't think that it will come out so well. And in fact, some of them I have also started using them in my trading. I mean, especially the tiny beast and the impulse one is the one I'm using. Also simultaneously with the MT4, I've started using them. So I will just display a few things. I'm not sure whether you can see my screen. Is my screen? Can you see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Yeah. So I will just take you through these tools. Basically there are 3 tools which are plotted here. There's a screener which is plotted here. So I will turn it off for the timing, and then there's a tiny beast which is plotted here, which I'll turn off for the timing, and I'll focus just on the impulse hunter. Now this is a particular indicator which you develop for identifying the impulse trade, the wave trades, and this indicator will help you identify those trades and also plot the ascending and descending for you. So if you see here, this is a trade which happened on Nifty 15 minutes chart on Friday. I think this was Friday. And here you see that it identifies the ascending for you, marks the ascending, and then it tells you where the breakout is happening, where the impulse is happening. And then of course it uses the entire concept of DTR calculation. So it will give you the target based on DTR, the original target system which we use. And then one simple indicator, and you see that it's such a beautiful result we got. Similarly, here you see there's another impulse buy which got generated in marks the ascending, the descending for us, and then it kind of tells you where the impulse buy is happening. And of course, you see that this buy happened here and the target was well achieved. So this is a very nice indicator which is come out very well. I mean, it's very good at identifying the impulses. So many of you who are actually using TradingView and have got a few stocks in mind which you trade, like Rakesh mentioned, you can actually install this indicator on the chart, and then it has got a lot of alerts. So if you go to the alert section of this particular indicator, so I will just show you if I possible. If I go to the alert section of this indicator, and so you see there are a lot of alerts which are developed for this indicator. So you have got, it also has a Binet identification, that compression which we talk about in NimblrTA. So you can actually assign those alerts for your particular charts. Suppose if you're if you're trading on Bank Nifty and Nifty, you can just assign it once, keep it open-ended, and then even if you're not on your computer, you are at some other work, you will keep getting the alerts whenever this impulses happen. So you'll get your alerts on the email or a mobile app through TradingView. So of course, TradingView has its restrictions for free alerts. So you'll have to check which account you're using, but this is something very beautiful which has come out. So I thought I'll just tell you about this. Then of course, the next indicator which many of you already using, and that is the indicator which is the tiny beast indicator. So this tiny beast indicator is a combination of the ICMC as well as the tiny beast, like the tiny IC. So if you see this indicator also, it has actually come out well, and it's a combination of many indicators together. As I mentioned, that I combined the tiny IC breakout and the ICMC breakout together. Then of course it is also it also has candle shunting. If you see the beautiful candles here, colored candles, so it shows the candle shunting also. It also shows you the the PDH and the PDL breakouts. It also has the inbuilt feature of out of body candle opening, which you learned in the candlestick analysis course, and of course marks the gap ups and the gaps down. And what the beautiful part of this indicator is that the entire integration. There's a lot of integration which I've done here. So the best part of the integration is that it is integrated to the zigzags. So the type of alerts which you're going to get will be more confirmed. You'll not get very random alerts, you'll get directional alerts. And then of course you can change them, if you want to combine the tiny IC, if you don't want to combine them. In fact, you can go combine the tiny ICs with the MC ICs together also. So only certain breakouts will happen where all these conditions get fulfilled together. And of course, another thing which is there is that suppose I miss the opportunity here. So I have the opportunity of consecutive triggers. So if I enable consecutive triggers, then it will start giving me triggers. More than once. It will give me triggers as and when they're happening. 2 triggers at a time, 3 triggers at a time. So you can keep getting the latest triggers also when you enable this. So that is what is having put in. And the latest version, we have combined the CCI with it also. So instead of having one particular indicator dedicated for CCI, because you have a limitation of 3 indicators, the CCI is now getting plotted here, and immediately after after your candles, and then the color changes based on the CCI of M30. If it is below -100, it will become red. If it is above +100, it will become green, and then if it's between, that's the gray area. So we have tried to develop, the targets are marked here for you, and the stop losses are marked. So these indicators also come out very well, and many of you are using this indicator. You have given me certain feedbacks. I've tried to adapt it to them. So this is something very interesting for starters. You can start using it. Then of course the last one which I want to show is the ORB screener. Now this is actually an ICMC screener, which is developed for ICMC breakouts. It becomes very difficult for us to know where the breakouts are happening, and we cannot open so many charts. So we have made an indicator which can take in 40 scripts at a time, at a go, and it processes it in the background, and then it will show you the various breakouts which happen in a day. And it plots those breakouts in the sense that it will give you the current breakouts happening, and it will also store the history of those breakouts. So here, if I see the last bar, the last 15 minutes, now this is for the 15 minutes, okay? So the last 15-minute bar, there was a breakout, ICMC breakout, which happened in these stocks. Now, if I want to see, if I want to go 1 bar behind, what happened at the previous bar of that, so this will show me the breakouts at that particular previous bar. So it keeps plotting and storing the history for you. So at times when you want to see what happened 15 minutes ago or 1 hour ago, you can actually have a look here. So this indicator also come out very well. It is harnessing the full capacity of TradingView. TradingView, of course, has a difficult, there's a difficulty in there's limitation of computation which you can do. It's not prepared for heavy duty processing of data. So you can also explore this indicator. Of course, now we're working on the impulse screener, and it is a tough task to do, but then I'm at it, and hopefully maybe be able to come up with an impulse screener also. But so far I've not had a breakthrough. So because of the limitations of TradingView, you cannot scan too many data, and in that you have to really store a lot of data as far as zigzag is concerned. So we are working at it. So hopefully we'll come out with that soon if things go the way I'm planning, and I'm able to break that particular limitation of TradingView. So that is about ORB Academy and what we have been doing at ORB Academy. If you have any questions, if you want to, and of course, I want to also tell you about that pay as much as you scheme, which we have introduced for both, the ICMC Tiny Beast and the screener, so that anyone who cannot afford it, anyone who thinks that you don't have that money to kind of subscribe to it, it's reasonably priced. We have priced it very, very reasonably. But if you still feel that you don't have that kind of money, you can write to us and we'll do it as minimum possible as minimum as possible. I've already done it for many of you, and we'll continue to do that for at least another 15-20 days. So that's it. And if you have any questions regarding this, you can ask me. You want to ask something about these indicators, you can ask me right now, and then we'll have an open forum after that, and you can ask questions.
Rakesh, I have one question.
Yeah, Rakesh.
With just the Tiny and ICMC, I think that's good enough. The moment you guys start coding impulses now, you will get so many triggers for impulses, at least if a person is trading 5 minutes or 15 minutes.
No, Rakesh, it's not happening that way.
Okay.
Because it's not happening for the simple reason that, basically it incorporates zigzags. Okay, so zigzags don't generally change very fast. And it is actually tied to the zigzag conditions. I'll just show you. I think I'll have it here. So impulses, in fact, are very, the way we have coded it, you will not get too many impulses. In fact, on the lower time frames, you get too many tiny ICs and ICMCs. But the impulses, you will not get too many impulses. See, this is a 5-minute chart of Nifty. Okay, and can you see? I'm not on the screen, right?
No, you're still not.
Just a minute. I'll just show you. This is the one, I think. Can you see now?
Yeah.
So you see, this is the 5-minute chart of Nifty, and you don't see too many. Like there'll not be too many. There's one sell which has happened, which was a fantastic sell, which happened at 21st, and it's still continuing, right?
Yeah.
And even if you go to the buys, you'll not get too many buys because I've actually attached it to the zigzag conditions.
Okay.
So you'll not have too many of them. In fact, at times, it becomes difficult to actually find out where they are because it has to fulfill the exact condition. And that is why I like this so much, because random calls kind of are disappearing the impulse hunter. You don't get too many random calls. Even if in the stocks which are kind of sideways, it will wait for the direction to change. And only then it will give you the call in the particular direction.
Okay.
So that's why
what
it becomes
about, but if let's say you have 40 per page or things like that, right, in your first screen, then apart from Nifty, in my, let's say,
the impulse screener, the impulse screener is not ready. This is just the impulse indicator.
Okay.
And this has to be plotted on the chart which is open. Okay, so basically it will work on the open chart. It will search on the chart which is plotted on. Because what is happening is that when I try to create this particular screener like this, you see this is an ICMC screener on 40. This is for the ICMC breakouts on 40 scripts together. But when I try to do this with the impulse, it requires a lot of zigzag values to process for each security. And it is not able to handle so much because of the restrictions of TradingView.
Okay, got it.
So, it kind of, the arrays cannot hold it. They have made it purposely like that, can't store too many things. So maybe that will improve over time with TradingView, and or we'll find a way in which we can do it a little lesser number of stocks. But
because
Impulse Hunter has been giving.
I'm guessing that you and Krishna have this already on AMI as well as MT4.
Yeah,
right?
We have it on MT4 already. MT4, in fact, it is doing beautifully on MT4, and in fact, he also has it on AMI. And both of us have it on. But then again, not everybody is comfortable with that. So I thought I'll bring it for TradingView. So it's something very interesting which has come. In fact, very, very encouraging, the Impulse Hunter. Good. I think somebody has raised a hand. So Mukund, is it?
Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, sir. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sir, actually, I want to use this screener, ORB screener. So can I get the trial only for 1 day? Only to check.
Yeah, you can get the trial. There's a 3-day trial which you can get, and I'll put it on the the link. You can seek your trial. There's no problem. My advice to all of you is that, use these indicators which are there in conjunction with the learning of NimblrTA. So we are not very keen in giving out these indicators to people who don't know NimblrTA, because you'll be making another mistake of trading without knowing what you're doing. So it's always nice that, use these indicators with the concept of NimblrTA, then you'll be able to make use of them. Otherwise, it will be just like any other random indicator, and we don't want to be in that karma forming of, causing losses to you because of lack of knowledge of how to use it. So my very earnest request to anyone who's applying for this indicator or wants to use it, do go through the NimblrTA courses and understand the concept. We are always available. Me and Krishna are always there on our social handles. If you have any questions to ask, and get into the knowledge and then use them. Yeah. Of course, Krishna also did a last week. I think he had a tech talk. He had very displayed all his indicators. So there's a lot which is on offer. So you can always get into it. Yes.
Yeah, Anurag, you have been trading, these systems, the Tiny IC and the ICNC, and along with the earlier ORB breakout system also. The one which there's a course on Udemy.
Yes.
And so, how do you compare your experience with trading these three different systems?
See, it is very interesting. In fact, the beauty of Deshma sir is that all these techniques actually integrate into each other. So if you see he had actually posted the anatomy of a trade. He had posted one particular tweet where he had given you how the trade unfolds, right? So if you see the trade unfolding, the trade actually is unfolding with the help of a tiny IC breakout. Then it's going to the ICNC breakout. Then of course it is going into the, you've got the impulse waves, and then you've got BOs getting formed. So it is basically not clashing with the whole entire system. Is just building up on the other. It's a build up. It's a system which builds up on each other. Okay, so I would not say that. I mean, I would say that by knowing and by using these tools, which are at various stages of a trade, it kind of helps me in building up my positions. Like I will start with a tiny IC if the chart is beautiful, and then I'll go up and build it up with ICNC. I'll take some more trades in the trespassing. Then of course my forte, I will say, is actually impulse trades. That is what I love, and that is where I risk the max. And that is what performs for me the max. So the impulse trades will be the trades where I'll actually go gung-ho and I'll just enter in a big way. And of course, if it is supported by a BO, if it's supported by the various CCI parameter, which automatically happens when the impulse builds up, CCI definitely builds up because it's automatically happening in the background. So it doesn't kind of clash with each other; it just builds up. So that is how it's so beautiful, and it's very nice, interesting for all of us, because we were introduced to the BO concept first, and then we came downwards from the BO concept. So we understand how beautifully it knits together. So there's no clash actually, and then it's actually something which is complementing each other. So that is why I love them.
Sure, and I have something also to show. Maybe if you allow me, maybe 5 minutes or 10 minutes.
I will take a few questions.
Sure, and it will clarify multiple things which we have discussed over here. So that is what just brought me over here. Yeah. So I was just collecting some data. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'll see it then. Any more questions we have?
Yes, sir. This is Ramakrishna on the line. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Sir, I did my candlestick course on December end.
Did you?
Yeah.
Which course?
Candlestick course.
Candlestick course. Okay.
So subsequently, I got an approval from you to have this free.
Yes. Who's this? Who's speaking?
Yeah.
Who's this speaking?
So it's Ramakrishna, I think. That's
Ramakrishna. Yeah, Ramakrishna. Yeah, please tell me, Ramakrishna, what's the query? Ramakrishna is muted, is it? Ramakrishna, can you hear me? Ramakrishna.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Tell me.
See, I got a mail from you saying that I can go for this free for 1 month, but I could not install it because I was trying to do it on TradingView, and you asked for some code and other things, because see, I was using free TradingView.
No, I never asked for any code. I just asked for your TradingView ID.
Yeah, I did not know what is the trading ID. That's what I was wondering.
TradingView ID will show on the top when you're logging into TradingView ID. It shows as an ID on the right side of the screen, the first login page.
Okay.
So it'll it'll be basically a short form of your name or whatever you've chosen. So that particular ID has to be sent to me, and once that ID actually comes to me, we will enable that for you.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Secondly, sir, I started this in the COVID times. Actually, yes. I was sitting free at home. I started in fact, March, April. I went through a lot of videos, and then I started my trading from June onwards. In the last 6 months, I incurred heavy losses. But I want to introduce more capital now, and after learning this ICMC breakout and candle hunting and other things, I'm confident now I should not be in red, and I will be in green only in future going ahead.
Definitely. Why you will be in green. Just give yourself more time.
Yeah.
Develop the confidence. Start trading small and then get into the whole system. And then once you get that confidence, then you can always. The best part of NimblrTA is that you can always build up. You can always scale it. So go from small to big. Instead of trying the other way around, and start with small quantities. Test the system. And then once you are well versed with the system, then you multiply. Then you can scale up.
Okay, so far I've been doing only Nifty and Bank Nifty. And my losses are heavy. That is around 7 lakhs. So
that's good. That's good amount. That's a very big amount to lose. See, what I will suggest is that see the tendency of choosing what I want to trade is definitely not a choice we make with something we are comfortable with. At times we go with the world. Like what happens now, if the whole world, suppose there's a world which is choosing options, so I want to do options. If the world is choosing if the world is wanting to do Nifty futures, I'm doing Nifty futures. But I think here you have to see a comfort level. You have to see a level of comfort. I mean, suppose if you are comfortable with I would suggest that in your present scenario you could just get into spot trading. That is what I do. I just trade spot Nifty, spot equity. That's all. I have my fixed number of stocks which I will trade, and I don't do futures at all. I don't do options at all. It's not necessary. It is not necessary that only money can be made in options or money can be made in futures alone. It's not necessary. It can be made everywhere. Wherever the concept is applicable, money can be made provided you play it well. So my suggestion to you will be that you shift to spot and get into a platform like ICICI Direct, where you can with small margins you can trade a good honorable kind of quantity, and you start there.
Okay.
And the chances of losing money there, losing the amount of money is much less, and of course the rates of success is very high. So I will suggest that you start with spot.
So basically, you are saying
slowly
do it in cash market, right?
Cash market, correct. Trade in the cash, intraday cash.
What about futures and options in stocks, sir? What do you suggest?
See, given my experience of losing 7 lakhs, and especially in futures, I would be a little skeptical of entering it again till I master the concept. And the best place to master the concept will be the spot market. So that is how I would see it. So my suggestion, would be that. So I would leave it on you. You decide, but I would strongly suggest that, given the fact that there is a history of losses in futures, maybe it is better that you scale down your quantity and understand the concept well and start using spot options first. And then once you build up the confidence, and because otherwise what will happen is, when you lose that kind of money, it doesn't happen overnight. That means you are taking either you're taking huge quantities or you're risking beyond your actual means, and that develops as a habit, and invariably you will make the same mistakes even if it happens in stock futures. It's not the future is at fault or Nifty is at fault or Bank Nifty is at fault. It is basically the trading style, the concept, which is actually has to be looked into. The market is the same Nifty others are earning, no?
Yeah.
Same Bank Nifty others are earning. So somewhere down the line, my style I have to check. And I have to first kind of plug the holes, I have to get into a strategy where my risks reduce a lot. And I would strongly suggest that spot is the place where you should start. That's my recommendation for you.
Okay, okay. With the tools that I have from you, will it help in reducing the losses, sir?
Tools are secondary confirmations. Okay, they are basically, they'll give you signals, but then you have to know the concept well. The tool is not the concept. Tools are based on the concept, right? So they help you in reducing your effort in identifying trades, right? But then the concept has to be known properly. So I would suggest that you are already an Nimbler student. You revisit your course, revisit the notes.
Yeah.
Come to us with your queries. There are other teammates in your group. Ask them your queries. Wherever you're failing, ask them where you're failing, why you're failing.
Okay.
And they'll be there. The whole community is there to help you.
Would you suggest me some other course, sir, apart from this basic course?
No, I think what you know is enough right now. You just stick to this. And Canal, you've done the Canal analysis course, right?
Yeah, candles. Yeah, basic that 5K that I paid, and it was.
Yeah, that is good enough. That's a sea of knowledge that you don't need anything. If you just go through that notes again and start, trading the tiny ICs, ICMCs, and impulse, I think you don't need anything else.
Okay, thanks.
But go slow, go slow.
Okay, I will share my trading ID.
Please do share. Please do share. Any other questions we have? Anything? It's open forum. You can ask about anything you have. Any queries? Any information you want to know about NimblrTA, about us, about each other?
Sir, I have one question for the 3 indicators.
I have to know your name.
Whether we can get it.
I have to know your name. Otherwise, I'll call you Lenovo. Sorry?
No, sir. Balamurugan from Chennai.
Okay. Yes.
Balamurugan.
Yeah, Bala, tell me.
Yes, sir. Yeah, nothing, sir. The 3 indicators, tiny indicator and ICMC, and then the impulse, they can get combined or separately, sir?
The tiny IC and ICMC is one together. Okay. And ICMC screener is ICMC screener is second, and impulse hunter is third. So they are basically three indicators.
Yes, I can get it or combined, or we have to get it separately.
No, combined is not. It's basically separate. All three are separate. I cannot combine some of them together because of the simple reason that there are some functional issues. So I've kept them simple, and then all don't need all of them. You can just start with tiny IC and tiny beast first, and then slowly build up on the impulse one. So basically, step by step, you can get into it. So I kept it open.
I'm using the IC. I'm using tiny indicator. Fine.
How are you finding it?
Yes, sir. Good, sir. I'm actually using it only for Nifty.
Good, very nice.
It's good, working good. And,
do send me suggestions. Do send me suggestions. Mukesh, you have something to ask?
Oh, I want to ask you. Actually, I'm already using this TradingView, and
yes.
I have taken this indicator from Krishna sir, ICMC yes. and Tiny Beast.
Yes.
Only what I am looking for is just you told no about impulse yes. hunting. Only that need to be set in my ID.
So you can apply for impulse.
Okay.
I'll share the link below. You can apply for impulse and you can get.
And also the little bit confusion is there. This MetaTrader and in this TradingView, what is the difference? Just want to ask.
See, MetaTrader is a more elaborate trading platform. It's a more elaborate trading platform for serious charting and serious trading, actually, because TradingView has limitations as far as functions are concerned.
Okay.
And MetaTrader is a larger platform, which has got many multiple times capabilities. Okay, so if you are a serious trader and you really want to get into serious kind of understanding the concept and using it in a serious way, MetaTrader or IME Broker is the way forward. You have to actually get into that platform because there the indicators are more versatile, and lot of things are coded there, and much more than what we can offer in TradingView.
Okay,
so it is like
all the things I will get over there same.
Yeah, we'll get better stuff there because they are much more in detail and much more in in much more functions are there. Many more functions.
Sir, from where to subscribe this MetaTrader?
MetaTrader is a free platform that can be downloaded, and you'll need a data feed for MetaTrader, and then you need the screener. So you can if you're looking for MetaTrader, you can go to orb.academy website, and the details are there. Or you can you can also send me a DM so I can guide you.
Okay, okay. So, sir, your suggestion to use, because I am doing full-time trading.
You have done a NimblrTA course, no?
Yeah, I have done, no, sir.
Then it is okay. Then you should use a proper setup, because then I
Okay.
think
Because in
MetaTrader or
TradingView,
any
there is
broker is
lot
good
of
for you.
ads and all this coming, no, in between. Means
Yeah, TradingView is for starters. It's actually the TradingView platform is for starters, those who are just entering. But then I would not say this is a platform for serious users, because it is something where you can start, test the system, build up your confidence, know whether it's working for you, and maybe you're starting on a low budget, so this is something free. But then for serious people, see, it's like any other business. When you set up a new business, you have to have some infrastructure with you, right? You have to have an office in place, you have to have proper furniture in place.
Yeah,
So I would say
well,
trading is also similar. If you're really serious about trading, you have to go for a proper software, you have to go for a proper tool. Trading will not serve the purpose there. But then if he's just
yeah,
testing the waters, it is good place to test the waters.
because sir, my bread and butter is only trading.
Then I think you better invest in a proper system.
Okay, so I have to check in your ORB Academy.
Yeah, you can DM me for MetaTrader,
Okay.
and I will let you know. Yeah.
Okay, so in mobile also it works, no? Because sometimes we are out.
MetaTrader, no, for MetaTrader will work on your. I mean, there's a way to use it on the mobile using a VPS. So I can explain that to you. So you can also use it on a mobile.
Because sometimes we
VPS
are out,
service.
no? So
yeah, you can do it with VPS services. That's possible.
okay, sir.
Yeah.
And sir, one last question only I want to ask you
Yes.
is what is CCI? Actually, I have not understood properly. This commodity channel index 100 minus 100.
CCI is a very beautiful, very beautiful concept of NimblrTA. In fact, that is how the whole NimblrTA concept got introduced to us. With the concept of how the the momentum builds up in a particular trade. Basically, it's an indicator which is mainly used for commodities. Where it shows you the bias of the move. Like what is the bias of the move. So we use basically plus 100 and minus 100 for breakouts, and then it's also used for on a lower time frame to kind of get into pyramid trades. Then it's also used to identify your stop losses. So if you want to get into the CCI thing, there are two things which you can do. You can definitely join Sir's internship program. So Nimblr's internship program talks about the CCI for detail for sure. Or you can
that
also
is different program from candlestick.
That's a different program. That is again for serious traders, and he will be there with you for 2 months.
So what to do for this CCI program?
You have to write to Sir. You have to write to Sir, request him for that,
Twitter,
because it's
on
not
Twitter.
open to everybody. Yeah, you write to him on Telegram also.
We'll do it.
Second is that the Udemy course, which I have, that also talks about CCI. So that is actually based on the CCI concept. So maybe you can also explore that. So internship is always better, because that's the best thing to do, because that has a lot of hand-holding with Sir. So many of you have not done the internship also should get into internship. That should be your next step, taking internship.
Just now I have completed reading all the material because it took time, no?
Yes.
This course was only for 5 days. But
correct.
While
it takes time. It takes time to understand everything, and you have to read
nearly 1 month to understand each and everything.
Yes. Very true. Very true.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Thank you so much.
For your guidance. I will message you or DM.
Sure. So do we have any more questions? We have already exceeded our time by 40 minutes, so we'll have to wind up.
I have one question. This is Bala from Bangalore.
Yeah, Bala.
I just want to check any plans of adding momentum zone or indecision zone for these trading view indicators.
It is very difficult, very, very difficult. Plotting in TradingView has limitations. Okay, so I would suggest that if you are really interested in Amazon, you're really interested, because if you're talking about Amazons, you're a serious trader. And if you're a serious trader, please get into a serious charting chart. This will not serve your purpose. It will only kind of stifle you later, because you'll get very frustrated. So it's nice to get into MetaTrader, AmiBroker, whichever is you're liking, and accordingly take the proper tools for that. Because there the tools are complete, comprehensive, and very useful. So get into that.
Okay,
Bala.
thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Rakesh, you have something to ask?
Yes, sir. This is Rakesh. Sir, when you consider the tiny IC breakout and the ICMC breakout, do we integrate the wave theory also into consideration?
Yes, yes. I mean, that is what I have done. I mean, I basically have integrated the wave theory in the sense that the trend from the zigzags have been introduced there. Okay, so we have I've incorporated that and I've got very good results. Otherwise, just with the random tiny IC gets generated anyway. No, I mean, random tiny ICs are getting generated. Some stocks they will show some stocks which you see. Maybe the stocks where they are done well, but there will be plenty of other stocks where you get very random ICMC, ICs, tiny ICs, and then you will get kind of whipsawed.
Yes.
So it's always nice to kind of add a trend to that. So zigzag trend is a beautiful trend which you can add.
Okay.
And like if the further tools which we have, like if you talk about the MetaTrader tool which I have, there I have also added zigzag on various time frames. Like not only the present zigzag time frame, I've also taken the lower zigzag time frames there to identify the tiny IC and the ICMC. So there you get a more confirmed kind of a thing. It also takes the present time frame, also takes in the lower time frame. So you can get a kind of a very confirmed move. It's always nice to kind of integrate.
Yeah, so always it is the signal is given in the direction of the trend, right?
If you're using Tiny Beast, ORB Tiny Beast, yes, that is what I know.
Okay, because I just saw you were showing the chart for the Nifty for Friday, and it was keeping on making higher highs and higher low, and there was an impulse sell on the top. So it was just based on the fact that it has broken the higher low. The impulse sell came because it has broken the higher low.
It has broken the high. I mean, basically, impulse sell has come because it has formed an ascending, and then it has broken the immediate low.
Yeah, you mean it has formed an ascending after an impulse, right?
It has formed an ascending and it's coming down and breaking the immediate low. So then it is forming an impulse. It's basically forming an impulse on the downside now.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so thank
if you have more questions, you can always, Rakesh, what you can do is we can discuss it on Telegram.
Yes,
okay.
Sir.
If you want more explanation, post me a chart. If you're not understood, I'll reply to that, or I'll post a chart for you.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay, we are just short of time. It's overshot by 40 minutes.
I do understand. Yeah, thank you.
So I will take one more question if you have one more question. Good. So thank you very much. Thank you, Rakesh. It was fun having you. And Shiva, it was great to have you here. Krishna, we may just not have time for this. Just please excuse me because we have overshot actually. And we'll meet again in the next program. Stay well and stay informed. And just know that the entire Nimble community is together with you, supporting you. You can contact Krishna, you can contact me, you can contact Rakesh, Shiva, so many of them. And we are always there to help you. Yeah. And for those who have not done the NimblrTA concept, the next candle analysis course, do join it whenever it's happening. And don't miss this opportunity from learning from Nimbler sir himself. So we'll meet again next time with more presenters and more concepts. Till then, let us be in touch on Telegram and Twitter. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. See you again.
Thank you, sir.
Please leave your feedbacks in the chat. I would like to know how you liked, and also let us know where you want to improve us, where we should improve further. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm here for some time. And if you want to interact with us, I'm here for some time. You can always interact.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi, Anurag.
Who's this?
Anant.
Anant,
Anant from Mumbai.
Yes,
I'm very
nice
fine.
to see you. You're keeping well?
Yeah, very fine. Very nice session.
Yes.
the thing which you, the psychology you discussed, that was very nice. Thank you very much for that. Now my question is, on TradingView, you showed that impulse hunter and screener. So you said I should apply for that. Means exactly what?
No, you're already a user, right? You're already using MT4 terminal, so you will anyway get it complimentary.
The thing is, I don't know why.
You will get it complimentary. You don't have to apply for the impulse hunter.
Great,
Okay,
great.
so yeah, you'll get it. I'll enable it for you. Don't worry.
Okay. Tell me one thing.
Yes.
I'm a bit confused about this MT4 momentum screener. So means I should use ICMC first because I haven't completed my study on Nimblr's CA right portion.
Yes.
I have some doubts on that. So I should go and use momentum screener directly, or I should use Tiny IC first.
I would suggest that you use impulses. Okay, because
The
Tiny
one
IC to use is good, but Tiny IC, if you're using, you have to be sure about the charts. You have to keep watching the charts.
Achha.
It'll give you early inputs, and it will give you early entries also. But then you have to be careful and you have to be there. So it'll purely depend on what your trading style is, what kind of mind setup you have. So if there are some people I know, they just trade with Tiny ICs and they do very well, but there are some who just wait for BOs to happen and they do well in BOs. So it'll depend on totally on on that. So what I will suggest is that you could try the impulses first, because
tell me one thing. Sorry to disturb you.
So impulses are something which are kind of a little surer, and they do well, especially the impulses which come in the second half. They do well.
Acha, now when I saw this impulse on TradingView chart, it was showing like a label, right? But on MT4, that label doesn't show.
No, it
so
will
is
not
it
come.
possible?
The MT4 template is different. It is possible. It is definitely possible. I will tell you how to do it. Okay. We'll discuss this. We can discuss it. Discuss it in a talk. Okay.
Okay. Please let me know when you have time.
Yes. Surely.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much.
Bye. Yes.
Bye.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, Gaurav, are you there? Kamalji, are you there? Kamalji, are you there? Kamalji, Gaurav, Kapil, are you there?
Hello, sir. Sir, I can't hear you. You're on mute, I think.
Who is this?
Sir, Ratish here again.
Yeah, Ratish, tell me.
Sir, I took the course in the month of December, and prior to that, I have been using market profile for more than 1.5 years, and I've been following. So basically, I trade on Nifty and Bank Nifty only. Not Bank Nifty, I trade on Nifty only. So after the course, I have been following the the wave theory much. Other than that, I have not subscribed to any of the indicators, Tiny IC, ICMC, and all. Like I want to get more into this screeners and this thing.
What is your profile like? Or how do you take this trading as? I mean, you are basically a part-timer trader.
No, I'm a full-time trader as of now.
You're a full-time trader. So if you're a full-time trader, then it makes sense to get into it in a full way, full-time way, basically. Have the proper setups, because then TradingView is not going to help in any case.
Yes. Yeah.
So for that, now you see what you're comfortable with, because there are two platforms which have MT4, which we have NimblrTA on. So one is the MT4, which I am using, and one is AmiBroker, which Krishna is using.
Yeah.
So whichever you're comfortable with, you have to get into that particular platform. And then there are a lot of plethora of, basically the screeners are there and then the templates are there.
Yeah.
So that gives you the whole holistic approach, And of course, see, the candle analysis course itself is enough for you. I mean, if you've done the course, it will be nice that you revisit the course once again, go through the course with the concepts of tiny IC, ICMC, and also the impulses. So these three things, if you know, and of course, candle shunting and MI zones. So if these few things, if you know, you don't need anything else. You don't need any other knowledge. In fact, any other knowledge will be a big hindrance to actually getting something good out of this knowledge.
Yeah.
So I think it's good that you just stick to this and just go back to your notes and get a proper system in place and work on it.
I've been through the notes couple of times, and I got the concepts clearly, except for the the range breakout and things like that, and the wave theory also. It's little wavery, except for some aspects I haven't really got the concept of wave theory, as in when to take the trade, or when it breaks a higher high and comes back to test.
Yes.
Or that is what you call as an impulse, right, sir?
Yeah, impulses. If you see impulses in a general way, I'll just try to share if I have the screen open. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So impulses will be, basically you look for an ascending, okay, and if an ascending is getting formed, suppose here if I have a look here, see if there's an ascending which is getting formed, and then that the previous low, that is the low of that particular wave, is getting broken, right? So this is one good place where the impulse gets generated, okay, on a short-term basis. Now what happens is that there are two ways. Another thing which you can do to make it further, if you want to use it if you want to tighten it further, you can also enable this previous high and previous low. That means I've actually, what I've done is that when the breakout is happening, I'm telling that if the breakout is happening with the previous low break, so in that case, what happens is if the previous day low is broken, then only this impulse gets generated. So if you see, this impulse has disappeared here from here. Getting it? Now there are times to use it. I mean, I will use the previous high-low break if it is in the beginning of the day, But when a trend is established in the end of the day, when I know that the trend is well established, I would actually take the impulse without that. So basically, I would suggest that you look for ascending or descending, and based on ascending and descending, you decide on the next step. If suppose that stock is breaking out from the previous high or low, then look for an impulse opportunity. And more so if it is maintaining no overlap zone. Suppose it is broken out, it has given you a move, it's trespassing, and again it's taking support at the overlap levels, then rest assured that in the second part of the day, this stock is going to do really well. It's going to do it.
Okay, once more, sir. I didn't get you on this
trespassing. You take a position here. Suppose in this particular place, you took a position, okay, and suppose you took a position somewhere here, and then you are waiting, and then the stock actually is proceeding further, okay. Then there'll be times when it will retrace, right? It'll try to come back to a previous support, or previous resistance, whatever, and it will try to maybe cross that, that support or resistance on the top, on the resistance on the top, where it forms an overlap, right? But there will be certain stocks you will see that they are not forming overlaps as the day progresses.
Yes.
Okay? So if an impulse is happening in that particular stock, and over say around afternoon 1:30, 2 o'clock, you're coming across a stock where the overlap has not happened, these stocks will definitely be the 15 stocks. There will be stocks which at the end of the day usually go for a better, very, very nice momentum in the trend towards the trend.
Yeah.
Because they are maintaining overlaps, and then they do very well. So that is a place where you can look for opportunities. They work well. That is my experience.
So in MetaTrader, do they give the alerts also, as in where the impulse has been formed and where there is no
overlap?
It
actually MetaTrader actually starts with that alert itself. And the screener is the main thing. The screener will show you it will scan the number of stocks, whatever stock you have in the market watch. And then it will give you an alert based on that stock, wherever impulse is happening, ICMC is happening, tiny is happening, momentum breakout is happening, pyramiding is happening. it will identify all those patterns and it will give you an alert on the screen on your Telegram. So then you can just open that chart and you can just study the chart and decide whether you want to trade that chart. That is one way of doing it. Second way of doing it is, of course, the chart is open for you. Suppose you decide on 10 charts which you're going to use, 10 stocks only you trade in. Open those 10 stocks and then the impulse is plotted on them. So as the moment an impulse happens on those charts, you will immediately get a signal on your screener, on your Telegram, and that impulse will happen.
Okay.
At times you will also get, you can also define it in such a way that you get a photograph of the chart, the screenshot of the chart at the particular time.
Okay.
That also comes. Yeah.
So does it consider, actually in our NimblrTA candlestick course, the CCI was not covered. So
this has got CCI inside. The screener has CCI because the screener actually came up with the concept of CCI. See, the whole concept of candle analysis only recent. We all started with CCI momentum, and that is how we started. And the indicator is made keeping that in mind. So it's the CCI integrated because momentum trades are based on the condition of CCI. Then you have got the momentum pyramids which are there, which are based on the concept of CCI. The stop losses there are also based on the concept of CCI. So that is incorporated. CCI is a very big important part of it, but not for impulse trade as which you're seeing right now. Yeah.
Okay.
But I've also included, I've also added CCI to the impulse, to get very confirmed trades. So my screener, I added that also. That is also added in the screener. So I also use CCI with impulse conditions to get more confirmed trades as far as alerts are concerned. We tightened it further. Yeah.
Okay. So when we take this subscription for MetaTrader, is there any video or something that which we can go through?
No, there is a lot of stuff which I posted on YouTube, but I will be preparing. Because we have got a latest version of the screener now, as far as MT4 is concerned. So I think today or tomorrow I'll come up with a new video, a short video.
As in how to use it, how to identify the trades and all those things.
That is of no use actually until you use it. But then I will show you what are the possibilities. Like how it works. So that possibility is there. Of course, I put it live on. There was a live trading session I put on YouTube, which is recorded. A 4 or 3 hour live is there as to how the screener went in the whole day. So you can have a look at that. It's without any kind of sound. It is just that the screen is there and the whole live recording is there as to how the screener progressed. So you can have a look at that also. But I will definitely post something.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay, sir.
Thank you, Rakesh. Thank you so much. Good. Wonderful.
Hi, Anurag.
Hi, who's this?
Kamal here.
How are you?
Anji.
कैसे हैं जी आप?
How are you?
आप बहुत कोई ठंडी जगह पे हैं कमल जी? ठंड लग रही है आपको?
हाँ, यहाँ ठंड है थोड़ा. तो मैं देख रहा था, was watching. And nice session.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope it was useful.
Nice session. Yes, it was certainly very useful, and especially for the new traders who are there, it will definitely be very useful for them.
Yes.
See,
that's the intention.
Most of. Sorry.
That is the intention,
Yeah. Most of them are, I think, coming out from losses and
yes.
Things like that. So yeah, it takes a little time. Basically, what I want to tell everybody who's here with us is that it takes time. You cannot. It doesn't happen overnight. Because when you are doing a candlestick course, you are coming into it with a lot of preconceptions. Like you are using a lot of indicators and you're using a lot of OI charts or whatever they use while trading Nifty or trading options and things like that, and a lot of news-based stuff. So basically, you have to get out of that mindset first, because it's so simple. The concept is so simple that you don't need those indicators, and
correct.
You don't need those.
It's basically a concept of unknowing first, unlearning.
Unlearning first. You have to unlearn that first. Yeah, that's the word. Unlearn. I couldn't get it.
Yes.
You have to basically unlearn those things to learn a new thing.
Yeah,
So it
and
will
that's the
take
most
time.
difficult part. The
Yes,
concept is not
yes.
difficult. Unlearning is very difficult.
Yes.
It is so
Yes.
ingrained in the system.
Yes. These are biases which are inbuilt into us.
Yes.
So these biases just don't go away. You have to work around those biases, you know.
Yes, true.
So my only, I've been trading for a long time, and I was also trading with these things, but I am sort of, grown up on it, and I could integrate all these things with it. But for new traders, or even old traders, or who are trading less than 10 years, they will have to unlearn it somehow if they have to, and take it a concept at a time. Let's say you have introduced ICMC breakouts on TradingView. That one indicator is enough to make your day. Basically, you don't have to go into the other details of whether the CCI is aligning or whether the thing. It's once the price breaks out on above the ICMC or below the IC, it's enough to give you a trade for the day.
True, very true.
Just that one concept, if you master one concept, it'll slowly, then you can, just get into the other concepts without confusing your brains. This is
Yeah, that is
basically
how
what
it is. Actually, you have to just, the beauty of the concept is that he has given us so many things together.
Correct.
And you just have to find your edge, where the edge is.
Correct.
Yeah.
There are 5 to 6 systems within that system.
Correct.
So just find one edge and trade it, and it doesn't matter if you're trading Nifty or trading Bank Nifty, or my own feeling is that your body rhythm should be match with the instrument you are trading. For example, I started trading Bank Nifty, but I found it, I didn't, my rhythm was not there with the Bank Nifty.
Yeah, just 1 minute, Kamalji. Yeah. Guys, the meeting is officially off. Okay, so we are just having chit chat now. So if you want, you can stay back. Otherwise, you can go and take lunch. Just a chit chat session we are carrying on. So if you want to stay back, there's no problem. Yeah. The Adda is over. Yes.